This content is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained on here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by Draper Goren Holm or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever.
I'm bringing out the entire bottle of Patron.
They're all exactly the same.
Crypto art, and then what it really is an NFT.
Wow.
Eddie wants to slap the bag.
So this is the next best thing.
DeFi is going to be a bubble.
It's provably scarce.
With Mad Dog.
Crypto, gold, and silver.
Transparent substance.
Take my money, start a war with it.
Without further ado,
cheers to you, brother.
Get shit on.
Because the system has to collapse before that.
my Corona.
Cheers. I feel much better now.
Cheers.
Wow, that was heavy. What is going on, Boozer Nation? Session 66 of Blockchain and Booze. If you're subscribed to the newsletter, then you're already in touch that we have a very interesting new segment, new episode planned for you guys. But shameless plug. Let's just do the ordeal really quick. My name is Adam. I'm the ex-host of Blockchain and Booze, which we'll be sharing a little bit more about that. But this show, this awesome series that's been going on for 66 weeks straight, since April 7th, 2020, is brought to you by Draper Goren Holm. Outside of investing in the best early stage startups, they put together a ton of events every single year, from LA Blockchain Summit, the Global DeFi Summit, which we just had over 13,000 participants globally. We have the NFT Summit coming up in August. We had the Security Token Summit. Alon's got What the Block every Friday, and Blockchain and Booze. For those who are new to Blockchain and Booze, welcome. Cheers. Grab a drink. Settle in. Welcome. I already see people in the chat doing their thing. So why don't we just bring up the guests and get started? So we got Alon Goren, we got John Farjo, we got Joe Visani. Guys, welcome. How's it going? Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Salud to Adam, my man.
Hey, cheers. Thank you. What's in the Yeti?
Mud water.
Mud water.
Yeah. I think it's just tea. I don't think there's any alcohol in here.
Well, John, what are you drinking, man?
I don't know. I think it's wine. Something like that.
I love it. Alon, please tell me you got your wife's concoction, your typical.
My wife did not make this one. It's my, my lazy drink, which is usually whiskey Coke, but this time there was only Dr. Pepper in the cupboard, so I filled it up with ice, Dr. Pepper, and a little bit of rum. So
cheers, guys. Thank you for being on. Session 66 weeks straight. You guys are obviously alums in here. We got a fun episode. There's a lot of cool things happening with Blockchain and Booze in the future that Alon's going to tell us more about. But I guess I'll start off by saying that this is going to be my last episode hosting. And it's bittersweet. I've been fortunate, and you guys have had me host you guys for 66 weeks straight, and it's been nothing but pleasure, nothing but fun, and just a joy, like building this community alongside many other people. So cheers to everyone who stuck around this long. It's been a lot of fun. I've loved it. It's like I want to cry, but I know, Alon, you're giving it such a facelift, and it's going to be literally going to the moon from here on out. So
let's take this moment to just think about what's crazy about this whole thing, because we've known Adam for a long time. He's a friend of the family, was at our events like literally years ago. When you were at USC, you interned, you helped with the event. Then your first day joining us full time was the first day of quarantine in LA. Then we started off Blockchain and Booze, and some of you in the chat, right, are literally, you were here those first few, and it was like chaos, right? Because remember, this was when Zoom was getting Zoom bombed by people, and we'd have like a Zoom call with 100 people, and then some idiot would come in and like ruin the whole fun, and then we'd like flip on a new Zoom or do all sorts of crap. But like that was the chaos of the first few Blockchain and Boozes, and then it's evolved into this epic, cool thing that Adam put together. It's just so much fun. That I can remember like those first few was
a disaster. Yeah,
it was so much fun. So we like part of why we wanted to do this, like, hey, last one for Adam is of course to say we love you, Adam, and wish you the best on whatever the heck you end up doing next. And you're a part of the fam, so I'm sure you're gonna be on. It's all good stuff. But like, but then also to ask the community, like, yeah, James is saying it was such a mess, but it in a way there's a fun part of like the community part of it, right? So I would hope, I want, you know, in the chat, keep chatting, ask questions in the Q&A. We might even bring some of you community members on stage even today. I'll try to DM you.
We already have someone in the green room too, by the way.
Oh, let's make it, see, I'm not one of the admins on here, so only Adam knows who's in the green room. So if you don't get up on stage, it's Adam's fault.
They just left. But I guess we'll also like bring Lunar Crush into the mix for a second. Guys, we've been streaming on your platform on Twitter for some time now, growing Lunar Crush's community, drinking with them, bringing them into Remo and meeting them, our community, and just vibing and making it happen. How are you guys feeling?
About John's hat, or just like in general?
I think, you know what's funny though? You guys are matching hats and t-shirts. So
we all
but now it looks like them in all black.
Yeah. We all came onto the live stream wearing all black, and so that I had to change it to my construction shirt. I'm feeling pretty good, Adam, and I'm just gonna
I am officially turning into Garth from Wayne's World when he's wearing the Pepsi gear and stuff, and he throws up the Reeboks. I'm that for Lunar Crush. Sorry.
Joe's feeling good. John, how are you feeling, man?
I appreciate messy live streams. That's where I get the most value.
Yes.
Things that are so overly planned where everyone's all nervous and they're like, here's my PowerPoint slide. Like, I just want to fall asleep like after a year of Zoom. So I am like super excited to just have a drink and hang out and talk about all the amazing things going on in crypto. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Dude, okay, we were just talking before the thing, but we have to talk about this because it's like the most timely thing ever. Has nothing to do with blockchain and booze. But there were I know some of you in the chat had to have been watching or listening to the Tom Brady stream live with Sam Bankman a few minutes ago on Twitter. If you were on there, let us know. But the most awkward situation happened that is so memeable, and I hope somebody was recording it. There had to have been some recordings. But whilst in the middle of Sam Bankman saying something about their partnership and whatever, his audio cut out like completely, and it was just silent. And Tom Brady was the only speaker other than him in this chat thing, and it was just silent for 30 seconds, a minute, just awkward. There's 6,000 people listening. Like Jack Dorsey is on there. You see every crypto Twitter friend you have on there. You know, everybody, like all these people are in there. And then all of a sudden you hear Tom go, Sam, 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 like 6 times in a row. It was the funniest thing ever. I think Joe and I were the only ones of us on stage here that were listening live. And it was, I don't know why, but it was like the funniest thing in the world.
I do wish that he actually just kept going. I want to know how many times he was willing to go out on a limb with the Sam question, because I think it was like at least 8 or 9 over like a good 25, 30 seconds. I was like, I can't believe I'm listening to Tom Brady just say the word Sam in front of 7,000 people over and over and over again.
It was just so good because like I think that he wasn't sure anyone could hear him. I think maybe he thought he was out. So
he kind of felt like he's probably on like a phone call.
Sad, desperate, like Sam, just over and over. It was so good.
Did you see his tweet earlier? He blew up the moon with his throw. He threw Bitcoin at the moon.
Yes.
I saw that in silence, so I didn't watch the whole thing because I was in between meetings and things like that. Was it a good commercial?
I mean, was it real? Can you actually throw that far?
I don't know.
Anyone
Maybe
could.
when he was 28.
Yeah, it was clearly photoshopped. If it was Aaron Rodgers, then they for sure would have hit the moon. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's a little. I mean, maybe back in the day, he's a little old to throw the ball at the moon still, but we'll see.
Are you calling him out, man? I want to see you go against Tom Brady. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Can you throw a football?
I'm saying I'm also talking trash. I'm not a huge football person, but my father-in-law's from Wisconsin, and when we started doing fantasy football as a family,
Really?
I had to pick Aaron Rodgers because I had to make sure I got him before my father-in-law did. And then after like 7 years of him being my quarterback on my fantasy football team, that was the only team I was into because now I've been following them for like 7 years. So now I'm all about the Packers. And I apologize to the Rams who practice like about 150 yards from my house.
I love it.
Just to give like a little bit of context of like what the actual thing is with Tom Brady, because I was trying to figure out like what exactly is going on. It just says that 7-time Super Bowl champion quarterback Tom Brady and his supermodel wife Giselle have partnered with global crypto exchange FTX. And basically all this is they're taking a stake for crypto, and now he's an ambassador and she's an environmental and social initiatives advisor. So that's all it is right now, which could mean basically anything.
That
Social.
what? Let's interpret this for a minute. I want to go around. Joe, what do you think this means?
Honestly, I think, and I think Tom's been looking at it. He's got laser eyes. Obviously, every celebrity and anyone that that's close to a lot of people that are investing in this are obviously looking at what's going on. He mentioned that he's been down in Costa Rica talking to friends down there with cryptocurrencies, getting information and kind of understanding what's going on. And so he's just taking it, and SBF, man, he goes after big names. He goes after celebrities. He's bringing people in that are from outside the industry. You know how many people follow Tom Brady that are probably still like, there's something more than just Bitcoin. I thought it was just Bitcoin, right? Like which is fantastic. He's bringing people in. I mean, that's what we need. So the fact that he got Tom on the Twitter Spaces, even though Tom thought it was just a phone call between him and Sam, is fantastic.
Dude, you know what though? I don't know if you saw this. I was stoked for what's the name of our buddy that one of the Blockworks groups guys. Adam, you know who I'm talking about. I'll look him up in a sec. But he tweeted at Tom.
Jason Yanowitz.
Yes, Jason. So Jason Yanowitz from Blockworks tweeted at Tom a graph of Bitcoin's price and with an arrow saying this is when Tom put laser eyes and the price just went tanked almost immediately. And Tom retweeted it and said laser eyes didn't work. What's next or something like that. And that's pretty good. Like he's got a good social media person or a good sense of humor to do something like that. So
I think the reality is that crypto is becoming the cool kids club, and a lot of these outsiders want to be more and more part of it. And it's still something that a lot of the world doesn't understand. And if you can hang out with people that understand something that you don't, that also has a lot of money behind it and a big community behind it, I think it's just going to keep ushering in more and more of these big names. And I didn't think of that from the point of view, Joe, that probably Tom Brady's following just probably know Bitcoin, and now they're understanding FTX and kind of discovering that, and the impact behind that is massive.
Look at it in a different way too. I mean, now we have FTX Arena right in the middle of downtown Miami. Good old, what was it, American Airlines before, right? And man, what a shift. What a shift, right? I mean, that alone. And now we have, I think, what is it? I read that every umpire is going to have FTX, a logo on them in the MLB. Really? They're the official crypto company of Major League Baseball now. So they're making these mainstream moves. And
do you think? I was just thinking about this though. So they're making some mainstream moves, and everybody that follows me at least sees that I've been diving into Tezos a lot, and we've been investing in some companies building there, and I'm a fan, right? And I'm not one of these only one cryptocurrency type of people, but like I was thinking about like Tezos has some F1 driver that has Tezos blasted all over them. There was that recent F1 driver that had the Bitcoin car and all that. Like does that really do anything? Does that really matter? Like in some respects, like there's some major eyeballs, right? And you guys measure the community and measure a lot of that, but like, does like Tom Brady talking about it a lot? Yes. The FTX logo on the Major League Baseball umpires, like, does that do anything?
Think about it like this: when that car wins the race and it's the Tezos car, people who aren't as in tuned with the race and the ins and outs of it are going to say, "Oh, Tezos car won." They're going to be looking at it like that. And I think the same thing when we're going to the FTX arena. When is it the MLB or a certain team in MLB?
It's MLB. Yeah,
dude, that's huge. That's like
right?
that's like the TV placements, the merch, like all that stuff is like that's mainstream community right there. That's next level.
It's more like a foot in the door. I mean, I remember we worked with a major automotive company that was the official car of the NFL, official vehicle, and the official luxury vehicle. And it's interesting because they ended up like working directly with specific teams, but then there's certain limitations, like with what you can't just use 2 logos together. You have to use all of them. Like there's all these nuanced rules with the NFL, but it's like, oh, then there's like the halftime show. And then there's these interstitial things while scores are up. And then there's badges on certain players. And then there's 1,000,001 events. And so all it is a foot in the door, and there's a million other things with these leagues. So I'm interested to see, do they do anything from a utility perspective? Not just a badge on the building or a player, but are there certain things that end up happening, like with ticketing, with season passes, season ticket holders, like is there more that's going to happen on site and off site from a crypto perspective with these partnerships?
You best believe that Solana is going to be the ticketing platform of choice. All micro payments are going to be integrated, and crypto payments are going to be accepted at FTX Stadium for sure. Leveraging Solana, right? Like they're going to bring their entire ecosystem, all their partners that are like they have a stake in. It's only to their benefit to promote them, to push them, to integrate them. It's huge.
I mean, think about it, it's like you don't think the NFL is looking at like what's happening with like Top Shot. Like there's an entire team focused and dedicated on probably doing something massive there. I have no idea. I'm literally, that is just like, I'm guessing, but how could they not? I mean, there's so much money up for grabs there.
It's crazy. Yeah. And I mean, there's, I was going to make some joke before, like all those kids with the umpire jerseys are not going to be going to school with FTX logos. But really, like it is a huge deal. And I think the more integrated, the better, like John's saying. And remember, it's been years now, actually. Dodgers did that NFT bobblehead experiment. And that was over 2 years ago, probably now, or at least 2 years ago. And just the more integrated, the better. I mean, so think about this: Coinbase. I don't know if it was today, this week, or whatever. They announced the 4% on USDC in their app. Think about how many mainstream people who aren't super crypto nerds but have Coinbase or hear about Coinbase and feel that Coinbase is legitimate and trust them more than all the crazy shit we talk about all day long. Now realize that they can go from 0% in their bank account to 4% on Coinbase by holding US dollar. That's
say no more.
And I'm sure FTX will have similar products and things like that, of course, and all the rest of them. So the mainstream learning about this stuff can be a huge paradigm shift.
I want to tie this back to what Adam was saying. Solana. Talk about Solana. And I remember you had their founder
Anatoly.
on your Anatoly was on Blockchain and Booze like what, a month ago, 3 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
And I remember looking up that social activity, and they had a huge spike a couple months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was largely it was largely from a hackathon that they were doing. And so when you think about, they've seen just kind of the steady growth of social, but the big spike was from the hackathon. What do you think is going to happen when Solana gets embedded with MLB, with basketball, and with an ecosystem that gets built around them? So it gets really, really interesting over this next year here. Like considering we're kind of at the cusp of very, very mainstream adoption, at least from a promotional perspective. And so we'll have to see. I mean, the Dogecoin crashed. The Dogecoin crashing had to be more publicity than that entire race.
And the all the angles and things like that were the most
amazing.
Memeable. It was the most memeable video ever. It looked like it was fake. Like the first time I saw that on Twitter as a GIF, I thought that it was like that somebody made that. Like I didn't think it was actually the Dogecoin.
Just throwing it out there. Elon might have done the whole thing, coordinated it all.
Like he just taps into the car and crashes it.
Dude, self-driving.
Rolling out just random conspiracy theories about Elon. Just right out.
Elon. Hey man, I just had lunch with
Elon.
With David Blesnak. No, not Elon. The next best thing, David Blesnak. And his mantra: memes are money. That's it.
Memes are money. I'll wear that T-shirt. I guess just to tie it back, if we're already on the concept of memes community. Let's bring it back because there's a I see Andrew Fisher's in the green room, and we want to kind of bring people on stage to kind of hear about what they want to see out of Blockchain and Booze, and Alon kind of sharing what's in store for Blockchain and Booze, what can people expect. Obviously, it's getting a facelift. I think the beauty behind doing Blockchain and Booze is that whether we live stream with Cointelegraph or Lunar Crush, or you're hosting, or I'm hosting, or someone else is hosting, it's always staying fresh. It's always staying relevant. And that's the beauty behind this, because you're getting different figureheads, different communities involved. And I'm excited for what's next. I hope to be a guest on Blockchain and Booze when we're talking about all sorts of things. It'd be interesting to be on the other side.
We're going to put up an application somewhere. I'll have somebody on the team review it, and we'll let you know in a few weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep checking in. Huh?
I'll submit Draper Gordon Holm /submit, and I'll put something there, and you guys can review my application. But really quick, everybody that's in Remo right now, if you're not in Remo and you're watching the live stream, go to meet.blockchainbooze.io. Meet.blockchainbooze.io. There, you're going to basically be redirected to Remo, where there's going to be a live chat. And in that live chat, I'm about to drop the stream link. So anybody that wants to come up, really quick, we want to hear from you guys. What have you liked so far about Blockchain and Booze? What do you want to see next? How can we spice it up? What can we tear down? Let's bring up Andrew Fisher, and let's just kick it off. Boom.
Andrew, start by telling us what you do.
Andrew. Let me just say this. Andrew has one of the sickest companies out there, and I'll let him take it from there. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. So I'm a network provider, an independent network provider for the Helium network. So I rock out. I build devices on people's houses and pay them, basically make them earn crypto passively through their properties. So I give them a cut and build out IoT networks for blockchain, which is super awesome, super fun. Super fun.
How do we sign up for this? I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
So,
that's what I said.
Yeah, so I'm actually we're gonna be taking more applications. We're actually doing a few test runs, but soon it'll be available. We're gonna have signups on our website at noblenetworks.io. But you can sign up. We'll put a device on your house and start earning crypto. It's super awesome. More people are getting involved, which is great.
Is this like Pied Piper? Like, is this decentralized internet? Are you doing that? Like, I'm looking at the site and it's like number of nodes, and I'm starting to freak out a little bit.
I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, it's imagine like cell service, right? Cell service went. Now Helium is doing it for IoT devices. So smart, just smart stuff. Anything that you could think of that could be smart, they can basically put it on the network. It's all open source. It's super fun.
So what he's trying to say is that if you're on the network, you're smart. So get on the network to be smart.
Yeah.
But more importantly, because why we brought you up here,
more importantly than your life work is
more importantly than doing the coolest gig out there. What I know you're recent on Blockchain and Booze, right?
I'm like 4 weeks young.
You're 4 weeks young, right? So you joined at what? Session 62. What were we doing on that? Do you remember?
I think on that one, it was the one right before. It was the Tezos one it was the Tezos one. That was the first one that I got in on, and then the next one was the Helium one, which hooked me because I was like, "You're going on with Amir. I got to chat with Amir for a bit." It was great. It was a good time.
Yeah, because he then came back in the green room and
Yeah.
was hanging out with everyone. That was cool.
Yeah,
so I
kind
guess
of bogarted it on
yeah.
accidentally.
So I guess all right, you're live on Boozer Nation. All the people can see you. Okay, moment of truth. Here we go. Somebody play the deal. What was that? What's that? Da-na-na-na. All right.
Yeah.
What do you exactly the Jeopardy music?
What's going
What I guess we're just like bringing people up here, right? What is it that you want to see from the Boozer community, right? What have you enjoyed so far? As kind of like I'm passing the baton, right, to a new host and trying to create more content, bring more of the community together, grow the Boozer community. What have you enjoyed? You know, what can we bring more of? What's important to you?
I mean, it's kind of cool just to see all the different viewpoints, right? You have so many different diverse guests, and everybody, you know, it's from different things that you might not ever think of. Like I'm not. I had my chance at NFT stuff back in the day. I didn't take it, and then I lost out on that. So now, last week, right, with all the NFT and the cool stuff that they're doing with those, that's something I might not really look into as much. I wasn't too big on them, but it's really interesting to see that side of it. So just the diversity and like different types of, solutions that are out there that we might not be privy to. That's the cool thing about it for me. I don't know. I mean, I kind of get like into the certain projects that I, get interested in. And I don't really delve too much outside of that. So seeing such a diverse, group of technology and seeing all these different viewpoints is really, really, really interesting, to be honest. And I would like to see more of that, honestly.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
As you say that, what comes to mind alone? There's thousands of people that have joined Blockchain Booze live. What if we did like episodes where people and their projects get on stage and talk about what they're doing, the problems that they're solving, and getting the community?
We were brainstorming yesterday, John and Joe. We were talking about like pitch sessions, things like that. I have a something in the works where in the next few weeks we'll probably have Adam Draper on, and I was thinking to try and grab him to kind of throw him to the fire and just throw a few random projects on to pitch him, and us, of course. Like it would be really super fun. Anybody who's in the chat, by the way, we're throwing the StreamYard link on. But I think that would be really fun. I think bringing more community members on the actual stage, kind of like to create that chaos from those first few where like, it was a little crazy, but kind of fun. And for me, I want to kind of treat this like, especially if for the next few weeks, and who knows, indefinitely I might be hosting and we kind of figure out the next iteration and stuff like that. For me, it's way more fun to like, it's the end of the day, have a drink and just hang out with a few crypto friends and let's just kind of see what happens and see where it goes. And there are some selfish reasons. Of course, we do this. We have our events and DGH and we like to invest in companies in the space. So getting to meet everyone is super important to us. But like it is all about the people, right? Like Lunar Crush says, there's no crypto without community, and we can't make an investment in a group unless we love the founders, right? And the best way to find out if you love someone is to hang out with them, spend some time. And so I think this could be a really cool way, to do that. But I do think there should be a little more structure. We'll bring in outside guests, not just have the same few people hang, bring in different community members each week. But also like give us your input and tell us what you guys want. We've thought about like, all sorts of different things. And would love help sort of crowdsourcing it. Because again, it was a community hang session during quarantine and it just spun into, something super legit. Now, should we, what should we do? And I want the community to decide.
It'd kind of be cool. Actually, you were saying like something we might want. It would be kind of cool to, there's a lot of people I know that are interested in certain projects. So having like some sort of polling, to have people like to show the stuff that they want to hear about, because obviously you have your stuff that you hear about, but everyone's different circles. Like I find out about all these crazy projects. Some are insane and they're very not legitimate, and you can tell. But a lot of people don't know. And then there's other ones that are just like little diamonds that you just find. That are new, that are really doing some cool stuff. So those far-reaching places of the internet, you might find some of the community members have some really cool projects.
You know what comes to mind now? The Blockchain and Booze DAO. We should definitely throw a DAO, decentralized blockchain and booze, distribute booze tokens to community members, open a snapshot, throw out proposals, have people vote on those proposals. And these will be non-Uniswap tokens. These will be just pure voting rights, right? I mean, you can decide how you guys want to do that, but the whole intention over here is to like decentralize the Boozer Nation. Ooh, right?
Yeah.
Let them choose what you're drinking too.
Yeah, and let them choose what I'm. Yeah, gasoline, like session 70.
As they talk about that, we'll measure every single mention, and they only get added to the DAO if they meet a certain threshold.
Yeah,
That's
what I was thinking, John. It's like anything under.
Let's get Dan to start building. Add the $ booze token, the Lunar Crush. You actually will have to sign up to Lunar Crush to create to share the booze charts. And if you share them and get more engagement than the other person, you'll earn more booze tokens, and you'll have a higher say in who comes on, in maybe which. So Justin in the QA section has a similar idea, but maybe even better than the one I had yesterday when John and Joe and I were brainstorming. He said he's been a boozer for a good while now. He'd love to see a monthly segment where you feature a new dev in their project/DApp and a quarterly members only contest for a chance to get funding. So what we were saying the other day is maybe we have 2-3 companies that have like 3-minute pitch sessions where we then kick them off stage each week, and like the people who are on vote which one is like the best, and then like once a month or once every couple months we actually fund the winning project. Like we you take the top 4 that won each week, and then they all pitch again or something, and we have some kind of pitch session. We totally should do it like a brackety March Madness kind. Maybe that's what we turn. I don't know, Adam. You didn't participate in person because you joined soon after. But we've every year for at least a couple years now, pre-COVID, had Blocktoberfest, which was our party, our beer drinking party at LA Blockchain Week. We called Blocktoberfest.
Yeah.
Maybe Blocktoberfest should be kind of like a March Madness for blockchain and booze.
Yeah.
So each week we got some pitching companies, and then the last week of it, or the first week of like November, the champions come on board and can actually get like an investment from DGH or some kind of grant or something. I don't even know. We got to figure it out.
All right, guys, that's the next step for Blockchain and Booze. Everybody tune in, sign up. Here we go, guys. Open your wallets, big hearts.
For every 25K Tim puts in, I'll put at least $5.
Yes.
Proportionate. I would do the same.
That's what I said. It's got to be pro rata.
Pro rata.
Same thing.
Well,
that would be cool. Think about that. That would be cool. Yeah. All right. Andrew, pleasure having you on, bro. Best of luck to you.
I will just say, I want to give my first recommendation for who I would love to see on here. It's a small little project right now, but it's called Popsicle Finance. Bring on Daniel Acesta, the creator of Popsicle Finance. They're killing it right now and doing some really cool stuff with liquidity pools. So you should definitely check it out. Their UniV3 stuff is really cool.
I'm curious, what is some cool stuff with liquidity pools? Tell me more.
So right now they're doing automatic. So they're taking the automatic market making and doing auto compounding liquidity that recompounds in. So right now I'm earning like on APR right now. They were having only from UniV3 fees, they were getting like 400% the other day, which was insane APR. And then, obviously auto compounding APY was crazy, but they're doing it right now just straight from fees with no like incentives at all, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the guys at Plenty said that they were going to potentially add the auto compounding feature to Plenty, which would make it so awesome because then you don't have to go, pull your rewards and then stake them back in and keep doing that every day or 19 times a day if you're me.
It's great because it's all decentralized and it's held in the smart contract. So they're optimizing gas fees, doing all kinds of cool stuff like that, so that they move everyone's together on the contract. So I'd love to see him on here, chatting. So that would be my recommendation.
I saw Alon's camera shaking, so he wrote it down. He's gonna make it happen.
Cool, man.
All right,
well,
Andrew,
nice
I'm gonna
meeting
bring
you
up David. Peace. That's actually a really good idea. That whole decentralizing blockchain.
We can have brackets. We have brackets. We have the community even participate in the voting. Although that communities will totally game the system, but it would still be epic.
And then, dude, think about proof of attendance. Everybody that's in Remo right now, we can track that, right? Remo kind of organizes all the attendees per session, and if there was somehow to add a field for an ETH address, we could airdrop people tokens for proof of participation.
We can already use something like Tezos. There's already apps in which you can send people tokens to their email addresses, and they could use their email addresses to OAuth into a wallet.
There you go.
Do it that way. So that could be cool with the Kukai wallet. You could do it with the Twitter account or email or whatever. And so there's a bunch of ways in which to do it. But what's also cool is we could take like a direct auth. That's right, Alex Liu. But what's really cool too is we could take a note from PrimeDAO, and we can say people who attended earlier blockchain and boozes or more blockchain and boozes, we could give them a higher reputation score in the DAO. They might not necessarily hold more tokens in the DAO or whatever. We can decide that, but their vote could count a little more because they've participated more in the community.
I like that, man. I'm gonna miss these brainstorming sessions. I love that.
I know.
If that happens
right now on Popsicle Finance, but I think they think I'm DDoS attacking them or something. I can't do it.
All right, let's bring up David Kim. Hold on. Let's do it. Boom, Mr. David Kim.
All right.
Hey, David.
I am well liquefied. I went super red on this. But yeah,
cheers. My light, I was more red.
Cheers, David.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? You're tuning in from LA?
That's right. Right. Not too far. I'm down here in Orange County, and I remember seeing when this got started. Adam I know I met Alon at a blockchain conference. You guys have come a long way. You guys have come a long way. And I think my comment in the chat was that there's an accessibility about this format, but it's not just the format, but I don't want to be flattering, but in a very honest way with like Alon and Adam and Joseph, I've met you guys in person. I haven't met Adam yet, but I've met Adam, Alon and Joseph, and you guys are like so approachable, right? And like
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this space.
That's kind of the point, right? Like we started our summits because we are into it, right? Like we didn't do it thinking it was going to be our full-time job. We didn't start the events thinking we were going to start a fund. Like we literally just started the event because we're super into it. we actually started a crowdfunding event, and we're like, hey, it's all moving towards crypto. That's what we want to do, and so we started a crypto event. And over time, we got to meet like who we felt were the smartest people in the world and the coolest people in the world. And we went, I want to be on their team. And that's essentially how it started, right? So in our minds, even when we talk to other investors and things like that, we talk about our superpowers being just like the fact that we actually hang out with the community. Like we don't write a check and then hide in the shadows and wait for the next one and write a check and get quarterly reports or whatever from the companies we fund. We actually hang out with them. We build on their projects. We are fanboys ourselves, and it's not a joke. Like we're super nerds for.
Are we supposed to be sending quarterly reports? I'm kidding. Sorry, I can't even speak without making a joke right now.
Yeah, no, and with the Lunar Crush guys, like I think your ethos, like without crypto, without community, there's no crypto. Like this is a strong example of that, right? Because I think out there right now, there's such a hunger for like reliable information where you can trust. And I think the personalities we have here, Adam, Alon, Joseph, all the people you guys bring in, Mark Cuban, you guys, right? Just there's a sense of
Same level.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody, where it's like, oh, okay.
David, tell us what you do.
Oh, I'm coming from the legal world. I'm coming from the legal tech world. From the corporate side, I work at a law firm, Morrison and Foerster, and we try to stay on top of tech. So, but it's a little weird because when the suits arrive, right, we're like, okay, IP, let's lock everything up, and kind of, which is kind of the total opposite of the ethos of like crypto, blockchain, and openness. But it just can't be ignored that the banks, as much as they say there's no use case, Bank of America, JP Morgan, the banks have the most patent applications. They're leaders, right? In addition,
you guys noticed this week, maybe it was the end of last week, Citi announced their crypto assets team. And what's interesting is I've met both those dudes at Citi that run the crypto assets team. They've been pitching the bigwigs at Citi for about 3 years internally until they publicly made this announcement this week. So it's happening. Like you're totally right. Who wasn't it? Wasn't it IBM or Microsoft or something at one point that had some of the most blockchain patents and IP?
I don't know about Microsoft and specifically, but I do know that the Chinese are. I mean, they're just. It's what really fascinates me is like this community is great. I know there's a lot going on in the U.S. and Europe and kind of the integrations and the connections that you have. But one thing that's kind of like a little off my radar, and I'm just kind of wondering about the crypto radar, is are there communities that are well organized in China? I just don't know. I just haven't seen like Chinese speakers. I haven't seen people at the conferences, and maybe there's not. Maybe there's not. But there's a ton.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, when I'm organizing like these conferences, when we're putting them together, when we're searching for speakers, it does really feel like Asia, right? And like the Western part of it's very disconnected, right? And obviously there's a lot of crossover when companies kind of open multiple branches, whether it be from a fund point of view or from a startup point of view. But you're right. It feels very disconnected. And I honestly don't know. I always feel like we are always behind because Asia is like 8,000 steps ahead of us. But then again, I don't know what's happening on that side of the world, and it feels very disconnected. I wonder if there is a community or a show or a platform that's trying to bridge those two parts of the world together. I know there's one company specifically called CEO. They're based in Santa Monica, and their whole value add is bridging. They basically created like an ETH bridge, right? A bridge from one island to another, trying to bring deal flow from Asia and basically deal flow from the US to Asia, right? So that's the only group that I know that's doing that. Other than that, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, because I think the Chinese like on governance, geopolitical issues, the Chinese government, they know what's up, right? Their time scale is not 4 years. Their time scale is like 50, right? And so they're thinking very hard about where this can all go. DAOs, governance, everything. And I've heard that Tencent is looking to get into NFTs in a very big way. That might be a rumor, but with the gaming, there are big companies with big money looking to get into this space in a big way.
I would also add that it's not by mistake that they just kicked the Bitcoin miners out of the country. It's not a mistake.
No way.
You have to ask yourself that why would such an advanced society do that? What do they see? Where are they going? What are they doing? And I think that's the risk. It's not a risk to Bitcoin. Those miners will just pick up their miners and go elsewhere, and it's a net gain for anyone. And I know the narrative around crypto right now is like, yeah, it's their loss. It's their loss. They're kicking Bitcoin out. It's someone else's gain. What are they doing? That's my question, and that's not answered. And I think that's actually the risk as of the last few weeks here. That's that uncertainty.
Yeah, I won't claim to know anything about the geopolitical stuff, from other than the surface stuff. But what's very clear is the people running China are all engineers. They're not dumb. They planned
Right.
all of the
That's
firewall stuff before any of that stuff. We were sitting on MySpace here, and they blocked all those kind of things in China and had their own versions for a reason. And that's not because they're dumb and that they're like want to block out the world for that reason. It's because they're super smart and wanted to control, just like any other government wants to control, except for we're dumb in terms of governments trying to control us because they try to do it after the fact. And you can't unring those bells, right? Like it's they're doing what governments do, but in a way smarter way than most, right? Whether you agree or not. And I know most of us probably disagree, of course, but like that's why we're in this space. But it's crazy smart. there isn't any.
You know what's even crazier is it's happening at the same time that you got the never-ending El Salvador news. The $30 airdrop to every citizen in the nation, Bitcoin legal tender, other countries, probably very, very short behind here. Next few weeks are going to be some really interesting news. I would predict, all while China is kicking the miners out of their country.
Right.
So really interesting times we're living in here. I didn't think we'd see this in 2021. So it's really.
We also didn't, I think, notice or think a pandemic would hit us and just push this entire world forward 5 years faster. But I will say there's been a bifurcation, obviously, of the internet, in a couple of different places. But, I would say that there is a lot of overlap in the investment community, right? And whether that's investment that's coming from China into the European startups or American startups, or kind of going the other way around, probably a little bit less so. But there is a lot of investment money in China that's looking for places to put that money, right? And so especially, and that's why I think a lot of people, a lot of the miners had to sell, right, in order to move equipment, to do different things. But some of that money is making its way into, I think, some of the private market. And so I think you're going to see, once those miners kind of come back online, wherever in the world that they are, I'm hearing hydro in Central America. I'm hearing all sorts of different things. But that money's going somewhere, right? And it's gonna kind of catapult us in a big way here soon.
Yeah. Do you guys think that you would see the president of a country hit that influencer levels on Lunar Crush, right, or anywhere in our space, other than in a negative way?
I will never forget the Twitter space that one night with El Salvador. The president of El Salvador was on. I was tearing up.
Play-by-play.
I was tearing up. I was listening to this going, you actually had this emotion of like, wow, I'm actually witnessing history right now. This is actually significant.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, and his brother still called him a boomer because he couldn't figure out how to use Twitter Spaces.
That was awesome. It was fun because you see people more and more often in this day and age as like real people. So, and in situations like that, they have their guard down. You have for people watching, there was a Twitter space the night that El Salvador was doing the vote on the Bitcoin law. And the brother of the president was in a Twitter space going like, yeah, I'm watching it live right now. And he's like giving everyone the play-by-play. My brother's going to be talking soon. This person's talking soon. This is happening. That's happening. Right. And he's giving the play-by-play and people are talking about it. And then all of a sudden his brother comes in, the president comes in and starts going, yeah, I'm not in the chambers. I have to be recuse myself or stay outside. And he's starting to talk about it, giving the play-by-play. And what's crazy is that if you think back on it, guys like Peter McCormick and all the rest of the sort of Bitcoin crew were giving him ideas saying, have you thought about mining like this? Have you thought about that? And he's like, no, we didn't really think about it, but we probably will try to do something like that. Makes sense, And then literally the next day he announced like, we're going to create a mining operation in this place. So like one night you're talking to the president of the country, giving him suggestions. And the next day he's posting on Twitter, like, we're going to do this.
Crazy.
That's insane. That doesn't happen. Like, it's so different from what we're used to in the United States, where if you're lucky, there's a mention of Bitcoin, and the mention is not super negative. Like, there's a few people like Loomis who are saying positive things, but the vast majority are just saying nonsense.
Dude, the fact that you just framed it like that, and you put it from a zoomed out point of view, and I think about that, that's insane. Like, the chain of events from Nick Carter starting a Twitter Spaces to then the president joining to then people coaching him up and telling him what to do to then him just and executing it. Like, what? Like, when does that happen? How is that a thing?
That happens in startups. That happens in like us getting shit done and talking about ideas and let's do it the next day. That doesn't happen.
It also helps in oppressed societies that have decided to make the US dollar their like national currency because they've had challenges with their own and they have no say over the endless money printing. They're a startup. That country's a startup. How exciting. Like that's amazing.
That's true. They've already given up control of their money, right? And so now they don't have anything to lose by adopting Bitcoin, only to gain. If they were still using some peso or an Salvadorian currency, I don't know what they used there. So if they were still using that and then they had to switch to Bitcoin, the government loses control, right? But they already don't have control over their money. It's
like when the US does a stimulus and the Fed decides to print endless money, how much say does El Salvador have in that?
Zero.
None?
They get their asses
right?
just like the rest of us. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like that's completely unfair and it causes oppression. Like it's so they're trying to find their way out and it won't be phrased this way as a war on the US dollar, but I don't know if war is the right word even. It's a wiggling out of it. It's like a migration away to something else. But it also maybe strengthens the dollar in a sense too, because it's pegged. Their stuff's going to be still pegged against the dollar. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's an interesting move away, and there's a reason for it. They see a path out.
Yeah, it's really crazy, right? Like you start thinking about that stuff, and it's really fun. And I think using the term war is actually kind of awesome because I think in terms of the amount of change that can happen, it probably will change the world more than even some of the biggest wars ever have without the war, without the killing. Because the whole point of most large wars and conflicts and things like that is power, money, land, right? This is and power and money are go hand in hand. Holy crap, that's lyrics from a Missing 23rd song. You guys gotta look that up.
I'm just surprised. I thought Adam for sure they taught start Twitter Space, influence geopolitics at USC. I'm surprised that wasn't a lesson.
I missed that one. Yeah, I never attended those courses, so could have.
They don't exist, and they still went for a long time.
Yeah, but anyways, guys, 6 o'clock right now. It's time for networking. David, pleasure to have you on, man. Stay cool in LA. We'll see you on soon. Last session of Blockchain and Booze with me as a host. Alon, cheers to you, brother. Thank you for giving me a platform to speak the minds and to share the stories of other people. And Lunar Crush, Joe and John, the boys at LC, you guys rock. Thank you for giving me your platform and your account and helping make this a reality and for always being on and just for being kick-ass dudes.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be cool. I can't wait to join. I'm still getting these text messages. I'm going to be tuning in and be in the networking session and excited for what's next. We got some ideas now, whether it be a DAO, whether it be featuring other people's stuff, right? There's something going on here, and you guys should never doubt DGH because shit happens, and when it happens fast. So once something locks, you guys should buckle up.
Guys, thank you. Adam, you absolutely have killed it this last year and a half. We're going to continue. I know there's going to be so much more. Love you guys. Love you, Adam. Thanks, everybody who's watching. We're going to keep doing something. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you join and get on screen next time, and it's going to be a fun continuation.
Love it.
Dude, way to go, Adam.
Thank you.
I'm long Adam coin. I'm long.
Long. Yes.
Hell
yeah. Cheers, guys. Cheers. I'm going to remove you off stage and wrap it up really quick for one last time. Let's do it. All right, guys. If you're watching the live stream, here we go. If you're watching the live stream, go to this beautiful link right here, meet.blockchainbooze.io. Meet.blockchainbooze.io. There, you'll be able to hang out, meet, network, drink with everybody that's been watching live. So meet.blockchainbooze.io. Once again, thank you for having me, and cheers. I'll see you guys at the networking. Thank you so much.